Stat Chapter 4. Man, said Mike, it looks like the tournament has already started. Yeah, said Deuce, the NCAA tournament. The kids crowding the court weren't really college age, but they probably looked that way to 5'0" Deuce. The side closest to us had 3 big kids on it, really going at it. They were definitely older, and all 3 were pretty tall. If I had to guess, I'd say they were in 8th or ninth grade. It looked like one of them had the beginnings of a mustache. The other court had a hoop with an old bent rim, and it was full of parents with their little kids anyway. We'd come all the way there, and we didn't want to play pig with first graders, so the older kids were our only option. We watched them play for a while. They were playing hard enough that you could hear their arms slap against each other when they crashed the boards for a rebound. Maybe we should just come back tomorrow, said Deuce. Nah, just be cool, said Mike. They'll probably let us mix in with them, I said. Or maybe they're leaving soon. The tallest player missed a long 3. The ball hit the side of the rim and bounced toward where we were standing along the side of the court. Mike grabbed it before it could roll too far away. Can we get in there? He said before throwing the ball back to them. Their tallest guy grabbed the pass. Hold up, guys, he said to his friends. Then he began sort of sauntering over to us. He was a decent player and he knew it. The other 2 followed him over. He dribbled the ball slowly and you could see him sizing us up. As he looked at Deuce, he made a little sound like half a laugh. That made me kind of mad, and I bet Deuce wasn't too happy about it either. He's fast, I said. Lightning fast. Yeah, said the big guy. He was standing in front of me now. Yeah, I said, standing straighter. He reached up and sort of scratched his chin with his hand, making a show of thinking it over. He sized me up again, and I stood as tall as I could. We were almost eye to eye. He ran the tip of his index finger over his mini mustache. He had me there. He gave one more quick look over at Mike and Deuce. Nah, he said. Come back in a few years, kids. Yeah, said one of the others. We might be done with court by then. Those 2 fist bumped as they turned and headed back toward the hoop. Then the third one had to take his shot at us. Feel free to stay there and keep throwing the ball back to us. And just like that, they went back to their game. Jerks, said Deuce. He said it loudly, but not loud enough for them to hear him. They were jerks, but they were big jerks. Yeah, bunch of clowns, said Mike. Is that a mustache, or did he just drink a peach fuzz milkshake? I said. They could have at least let us mix in. 3-on-3 is much better than playing 1-on-2 and alternating possessions like they were doing now. We'll watch them for a while, but it just made us want to play more. I guess we could dribble around on the side over there, said Mike. That didn't sound so great either. I looked over at my board and helmet, and then looked over at the road. There was a decent curb where I could work on my board slide. Nah, I said, I'm going to take my board and work on some stuff. Not really room for all 3 of us along the side there anyway. Okay, said Mike, that's cool. All right, said Deuce. What can you do right? As I was heading down to the road, I saw a kid named Roger heading toward the court. He was a year younger, but a decent guy, with a sweet jump shot. We'd played hoops with him before. If the other kids weren't there, we could have run 2-on-2. Older kids are hogging the court, I said, and it's kindergarten on the other side. Sucks, said Roger. Yep, I said. We fist bumped as we passed, then I switched my attention to the road, looking for a good stretch of curb. Once I found one, I got right to it. The idea is pretty simple. You get up some speed, and then you try to sort of pop the board up and sideways onto the curb, so that the bottom of the board is sliding along it. I buckled up my helmet because, count the things that could go wrong, right? Then I took a few slow tries at it. It was harder than I thought it would be. I wiped out the first 2 times. I made sure I fell forward into the grass both times. But I like a challenge, so I guess I got pretty into it. Next thing I knew, it was an hour later. The underside of my board and my own underside were both a little scratched up, but I was starting to get the hang of it. When I finally looked up at the court, I was surprised to see Mike, Deuce, and Roger playing the older kids 3-on-3. I grabbed my board and headed up there to see what was up, but there wasn't much left to see. I got there just in time to see the tallest guy on the court, old fuzzy mustache, seriously rejecting the youngest one. Roger landed hard on his butt after the blocked shot, and the older kids grabbed the ball and scored easily. I guess it was game point, because as soon as it went in, my friends started walking off the court. "Uncool," said Mike. "What happened?" I said, but in my heart, I already knew. Over their shoulders, I could see the older kids laughing and bumping their forearms together to congratulate each other. Meanwhile, Mike, Deuce, and Roger looked seriously beaten down. 3-on-3, confirmed Deuce. They magically changed their minds as soon as you took your wheelie-dilly there down the road. I looked down at my skateboard. I should have known. When they sized us up before, they didn't decide not to play us because we were too young. It was because Mike and I were pretty much their size, and I'd already told them how fast Deuce was. They were afraid they'd lose to 3 younger kids. "Well, that stunk," said Roger, kicking the grass. No offense to him, but he's a year younger and a foot shorter than me. Once he showed up, I guess they liked their odds a little better. I started. I didn't know exactly how to put it. "They let us have it," said Mike. "Yeah," said Deuce. "They went all out, knocked into us, pushed us around, and didn't give us any foul calls. It was ridiculous." "They're just, said Roger, looking back over his shoulder at the older kids. "Yeah, I know," I said. "They're butchers." "That's the word," said Deuce. "Anyway, I'm heading home. Gotta get some ice on this knee." "Yeah, me too," said Mike. "Gotta get some ice on this, all of me." "Wow, guys," I said. "Sorry about that. I didn't know." "It's okay, Amar'e," said Deuce. "Yeah," said Mike. "Not your fault," said Roger. And maybe it wasn't, but I still felt bad seeing them like this, beat up and beat down at the same time. "Yeah," I called out to try to get the bullies' attention. Then I pointed over to the little kids on the other side of the court, still trying to get the pig with their folks. "Maybe you can play them next time." They didn't even bother to look over. All I could do was walk with the guys down the sidewalk. I had to slow up because I was the only one without some kind of a limp. Once I got back home, I tried to calm down and forget about it by doing some more of that history project. I was looking forward to finishing up reading on the civil rights movement. I read all about Martin Luther King Jr. and the power of nonviolence. Those kids on the court could learn a thing or two from him.